Hello Internet, welcome to the Sacramentory Homebrew channel. My name's Harvey Kane and today we're talking about how to do a closed transfer under pressure between two kegs. In this case a fermenting keg and a serving keg. This is the method you'll want to use if you are fermenting under pressure and you want to get it into your keg so you can stick that in your kegerator and drink some beer. There's a few different ways you can approach this. I prefer the method where it's basically a closed siphon. So you stick one keg on the bench and the other one on the floor. You connect the liquid post to the liquid post and the gas post to the gas post, and you let gravity do its work. What's cool about this method is it doesn't require any external CO2. So it just completely works under its own steam, and if you purge your lines before you start, there's very, very little oxygen ingress, which is one of the great reasons about doing closed transfers. So let's talk about what's involved in getting one of these things underway. First thing I'm going to do is sanitize my beer line. So we got a beer line which is black disconnects on both ends, and then I use these carbonation caps which are really, really handy for a bunch of different things. One of them is sanitizing lines. So I've got a Coke bottle filled with Star San, and that's got a carbonation cap on the end. I'm going to connect one end of this line to my Coke bottle full of Star San, just like that, and then the second end goes on there. Oh, here comes the beer, which was from the previous transfer, and just blowing some Star San through this line. And that's it. I've got a beer line, chock full of Star San, ready to go. Next thing I need to do here is to purge this gas line with CO2. So I don't know if there's probably some air in there at the moment. So I take my regulator and I'll connect it up to this wonderful custom gas line that I've built here. It's just got one of the carbonation caps there on the T, and then grey disconnects on both ends. And so I take my spare carbonation cap and I connect that up to the end, and I'm just going to blast some CO2 through the line. Make sure there's no air in that side of it, and then do the same again for the other end. Just get some CO2 going through. Let's get this transfer underway. So I'm going to take my liquid line and I connect that to the keg on top. I take the receiving keg and I stick that on the floor so that gravity can do its work, and the liquid line connects to the liquid post on that as well. At the moment these are the same pressure, so nothing happens, and so I bleed off a little bit of pressure on the receiving keg, and you can see the beer starts to flow because the pressure is different between the two. Here we go, nice black beer, so you can see it easily. Nice one. Bleed off a little bit more pressure. What I'm doing here is I'm connecting the gas to the gas on both the kegs. And what this means is once the headspace starts reducing in the receiving keg, then the CO2 that's displaced can go into the top keg. And so we can do this transfer without actually having to use any external CO2 whatsoever. From here on, it's a matter of waiting. So this process is going to take a good 15 to 45 minutes. It's not as quick as a regular pressure transfer because we're just using gravity. So at this point we leave it and we go off and we go and do something else, whatever it is that floats your boat. You may want to come and check on it from time to time, and sometimes, to be honest, it does stall. So if you find that it does stop for any particular reason, what you want to do is you want to release the pressure in the bottom keg. So that creates a differential where the top keg has got a little bit more pressure than the bottom one, and that's going to get the beer flowing again. Once it's moving through the hose, you'll physically see it moving in that hose, and you can just leave it and come back to it again shortly. This is only a 5 litre keg, so this is going to happen fairly quickly, but like I say, expect a good 15 to 45 minutes for this process to take place. You can tell when it's done because you'll see the beer showing up in the gas line at the end of the process, and you'll always end up with a little bit of beer in the gas line, and then you know you're done because you've got a full keg. So we're all done. We've got a little mini keg chock full of beer. Now, unfortunately, it's chock-a-block, absolutely filled right to the top, and that's not ideal because it means that it can't carbonate. You lose a little bit of headspace to be able to carbonate the beer, and also I just don't like having it chock-a-block so that it's ready to send beer off into my gas regulator, which would wreck it. So luckily I've got a really handy tip for sorting that little problem out. So you take your gas and you connect it up to the gas, just like that. And you take your tap and you connect it up just like this, and you get a glass you release the pressure into the glass, just like that. And so we've got half a glass out of there, a little bit of headspace in the top. So this one here is the Blackrock Milk Stout that I brewed a couple of weeks ago in the other video, so we'll send you a link for that one so you can check that out. We've got a nice head on the top, nice dark colour. It's probably a little bit shaken up from all the moving around, but to me that's a good looking beer. This one here, it finished at 1028, which is pretty high. Not super surprising, it's got so much caramel malt, or caramalt. It's got flaked barley, it's got a low attenuating yeast, and it's got lots of lactose in there as well. So 1028, it was meant to finish around 1022, 1024, but I shouldn't be surprised. Let's see what it tastes like. Yum. It's not too bad. Sweet, definitely sweet. I knew it was going to do that, so I chucked a bit of extra bitterness in as part of the recipe. It's not cloying sweet, but it's definitely on the sweet side. I'd say that. It's got a nice roasty sort of character to it. I'm not going to waffle around, but you know, there's nothing wrong with this at all. It's also nice and warm, 10 degrees or so, and about the right level of carbonation for English stout. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this.